anyone who's new to this channel is dedicated to the life and teachings of a very special being named Bruno Groening. Bruno taught many things. One of the essential things he taught was that there is a divine power that helps and heals, and that it's possible for us to access that divine power and to access help in all areas of our life. So I'm going to be leading us through a very simple, guided, you could say prayer, you could say meditation, of how to take in and receive that divine energy which helps and heals. And when I say it helps and heals, I'm not just talking about like, oh, it makes you feel better, which it does, but it literally has the power to cure illness. And I know this because I've experienced it in my own body, and I'm not the only one. So let's hop right into it. Please sit with your legs uncrossed, feet flat on the floor, hands on your legs, palms facing upwards. Back in a relaxed upright position, not stiff, but not slouched over either. Just nice and relaxed, yet straight. Take a nice deep breath, exhale, let go of all the problems and worries from the day. Let go of what's happened today, let go of what we think is going to happen next, i.e. plans for the future. And now really hand over to your understanding of a higher power, whether that is a spiritual or religious understanding of what people call God, the supreme force, whether that's a particular spiritual teacher or helper. Literally hand over your burdens, your worries, things you're concerned about. As they say, place your problems in higher power's hands. We'll spend a little time doing that now, literally unburdening your heart. And then ask, have the intention to receive the divine power. Ask either inwardly with your words, maybe a prayer, or just open your heart. That's another kind of prayer. And have the intention, have the will to receive, and observe your body as if you're standing underneath the sunlight, underneath the sun, drinking in the warmth, the light, the good feeling from the sun, except we are drinking in the divine power. So that's the practice. Observe your body, having the will, the intention to take in that goodness. If the mind wanders off, bring it on back. Noticing what you feel, having the intention to drink in the divine power. Have the will to receive and the will to let go of everything that doesn't serve. Just keep coming back to the present moment, to this intention to receive. taking in a blessing, letting go of what doesn't serve. going to share a few words. Thank you so much, everyone who's joined in live and everyone who's watching or will watch a recording of this video. What's on my mind and heart is what a profound teacher Bruno Groening was. From my perspective, he was able to express profound spiritual truths in language so simple a first or second grader could understand it. But to live by those things, simple but not easy. That's my understanding of Bruno's teaching. And, you know, some of the things he would say are just like so simple but so profound, that life is a school. That we each came here with very, I can't see who that is, but the person said, nice to see you. Oh, hey, Nat. Thank you. You know, that we each came here with a specific task to accomplish and specific lessons to learn. So, like my understanding of Bruno's teachings is that we all, the whole human race, we're all learning similar things on the one hand. We're learning how to be mindful of our thoughts, learning how to take care of our bodies, learning how to trust in the divine, learning how to discern good from evil, which might be one of the ultimate learnings. And then we each have our own individual lessons. You know, some people are, as they say, are codependent. They worry too much about what other people think. In some ways, some people are too sensitive, right? But the opposite extreme is some people who just don't care what other people think or feel. And you could say these people are too insensitive. So right there you can see that some people are here in a body on this earth to learn how to be more sensitive to other people. And some people are on this earth to learn how to have a little bit thicker skin, while some people are learning how to have thinner skin. Some people are learning how to assert themselves and speak up. Some people are learning how to speak less and listen. And so this is where, you know, I've come to realize that the spiritual path is not a formula. There are certain parts that have a bit of a formula, such as trust, such as learning to monitor your thoughts and discern. You could say basic principles that are universal, but then at a certain point, we need to learn, each of us needs to learn to be guided. Like if I came up here and I gave a talk and saying, you know, we need to learn how to have thicker skin and not take what other people say so seriously. Well, that could be helpful for some people and harmful for some people. As I said earlier in my example, some people are trying to learn how to be more sensitive, how to be less shut off and more open. Some people are too open and are learning how to be a little more contained. And so this is where the spiritual path becomes like an inquiry and an investigation, a learning how to be guided. You know, Bruno taught at the end of each day to the best of your ability, review the entire day and notice what you didn't do well, where you fell short, and make a firm determination to do better. And for me, I also like to notice where I did do well and count my blessings. But it's a way for us to become aware of ourselves, because when, as Bruno said, we're all under the force of habit. And so when we fall short, we usually don't just do it once. It's something we can kind of repeat over and over. And so through that nighttime review, we can start to become aware of ourselves, become aware of these habits, and then work to change them. To go back to my earlier statement, some people have the habit of being closed off and too thick-skinned. Some people have the habit of being too sensitive, too open. And so it's through that daily reflection and through seeking to be guided by the divine, which Bruno pointed out, that the divine is not up there far and away, but is all around us and inside of us. And that we need to learn to listen inside of ourselves so that we can be guided by the divine moment by moment. And so for me, that's part of what it means to be a master. Bruno called us all to become masters of life. Well, what is a master? Far be it for me to say, because I'm not a master, but one realization I've had is that part of being a master is being guided moment by moment. I've shared examples of this on this channel before, and for example, today I went to a worship service, and it was really nice. It felt really good. And then at a certain point, I felt, it's time to go. And I I don't want to go. This feels good. I want to stay. But I just had this, on a deeper level, there was this feeling like, no, that's enough. And right as I was getting ready to go, there was a woman coming in who was on, not crutches, but canes. And because I listened, I was literally right by the door as she was coming in. So that's not a big, miraculous happening, but that's an example of when we tune in and listen, we can be guided to be helpful, and things can flow easier. Bruno Groening said that thoughts move man to deed, meaning before each action we have a thought, and then once we say yes to that thought actually, and the German, it gets translated as move, but it's more like pushes, that the thought pushes us to deeds. And that's part of why it's so important to check our thoughts. Because there I was at this worship service, I was enjoying it, and then I had the thought, I feel full. It's time to go. And I checked that thought, and I'm like, yes, that feels right. But then another thought came. No, I don't want to go. I want more. This feels good. I was like, oh, what do I do? Well, luckily in that moment, I checked the thoughts. And the first thought of oh, I feel good. It's time to go. That thought felt more true and more right. And so I followed it. Because I followed it, I got to do a little act of service, which felt really good. But maybe more importantly, in my view, all worship services, whatever the denomination or religion, there's some kind of energy transmission going on. And for whatever reason, my system had enough. It's like it had taken in enough good energy and it was done. And so, yes, I got to be helpful to someone as they came in, but I also, it's like when you're eating and your stomach says, I'm full, and then hopefully you stop. I laugh because for a long time I didn't stop when I was full. And that was one lesson that I got to learn in this lifetime, how to listen to my body. So I was in that situation and I had two conflicting thoughts. And through grace, I had Bruno's teaching, and I also had the willingness to really be like, okay, well, actually the thought to go feels on On a surface level, like the I want to stay, this is fun thought was stronger. But on a deeper level, the oh, it's time to go now, that thought felt right, true, and good. All right, I'm going to send my live viewers off with a prayer, and also the people who have just joined in. Infinite, limitless source, our maker. Thank you so much for one more day of life. One more day of earthly life. And thank you so much for that we were led to Bruno Groening. Thank you so much for this beautiful energy that we've been able to take in. Please help us to listen more deeply to the voice of God in our hearts. Please help us to listen to our thoughts and discern and learn how to discern which ones are helpful and which ones aren't. Please, when things aren't going well, help us to trust that everything will be all right and that all things serve the good. Please, help each one of us to listen and discern our individual lessons as well as make progress on the universal lessons. Let's spend a couple minutes in silence, taking in some more energy. If we have specific things we want to ask for, you can ask inwardly. Thank you so very much to everyone who dropped by. Thanks for saying hi, Nat. Long time no. I wish everyone a blessed morning, afternoon, or evening. Bruno Groening said, the good will prevail. So let's trust in the good when we face our own personal challenges, as we read about or hear about challenges that are happening in the world. Let's exercise that muscle of faith to trust that the good will prevail, that everything will be all right, and that all things serve the good. Thank you so very much for joining in. I wish you a blessed morning, afternoon, evening. Take care.